Greetings, fellow time travelers. Welcome back to Secrets of the Ancients, where we uncover the hidden mysteries of lost civilizations and dive deep into the secrets that shaped our world. I'm your archaeological guide, ready to take you on another mind-bending journey through the corridors of time. Today's discovery will challenge everything you thought you knew about ancient history. We're about to explore one of the most intriguing mysteries that has puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries: strange aerial phenomena recorded in ancient religious texts from around the world. Before we unveil these incredible secrets, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the ancient mysteries we're about to reveal. Picture this incredible scene with me. It's the year 1561 in the German city of Nuremberg. The sun is rising over medieval rooftops when suddenly the entire population witnesses something that defies explanation. Flying spheres, cylinders, and disc-shaped objects fill the morning sky, moving in patterns that seem almost like an aerial battle. But here's what will blow your mind. This wasn't an isolated incident. Throughout human history, from ancient Mesopotamia to medieval Europe, people have recorded sightings of mysterious objects in the sky. The question that has fascinated researchers for decades is this: were our ancestors witnessing the same phenomena that we call unidentified flying objects today? Let's start our archaeological journey by examining the most famous ancient texts that describe these mysterious aerial encounters. Here's something that will absolutely amaze you. In the Gospel of Matthew, we read about the Star of the East that guided the wise men to Jesus. But pay attention to this incredible detail. The text says the star went ahead of them and then stopped over the place where the child was. Now, fellow time detectives, think about this for a moment. Ordinary stars follow predictable celestial paths. They don't move with apparent intelligence or hover over specific locations. Recent astronomical studies have proposed various theories: planetary conjunctions, supernovas, or comets. But the behavior described in the ancient texts suggests something far more intriguing. What if our ancestors were trying to describe something they had no words for, something that moved with purpose and intelligence across the ancient skies? But the mysteries don't stop there. Let's travel back to ancient Babylon around 593 years before Christ. The prophet Ezekiel describes witnessing something that still puzzles researchers today. Listen to his own words, translated for clarity. In the middle of the fire was something that looked like polished metal, and at the very center there appeared to be four beings with a human-like form. Ezekiel goes on to describe living creatures alongside wheels covered with what seemed to be eyes. These weren't ordinary wheels. Each contained another wheel inside, allowing them to move in any direction. Here's what modern researchers find fascinating. Ezekiel was trying to describe something completely outside his cultural understanding. Could this have been an ancient witness account of advanced technology? The eyes on the wheels might represent lights or sensors, almost as if they were observing the scene below. Now imagine this scene with me. Over 3,000 years ago, hundreds of thousands of Israelites are wandering through the harsh desert. Day after day, they follow a mysterious pillar of cloud during daylight hours, and at night it transforms into a pillar of fire. But here's the puzzling part that has intrigued historians. This wasn't a stationary phenomenon. The text clearly states it moved ahead of the people, guiding their path through the wilderness. Natural phenomena don't deliberately lead groups of people across vast distances. From our modern perspective, we might ask, could ancient scribes have been describing some form of guidance system that was beyond their technological understanding? Picture this dramatic moment. The prophets Elijah and Elisha are walking together when suddenly, according to ancient records, a chariot of fire with horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Now, fellow archaeological investigators, let's analyze this account scientifically. To an ancient observer with no knowledge of advanced technology, how might they describe a craft surrounded by energy or propulsion systems? The term chariot would be the closest comparison in their vocabulary, and the horses might represent energy sources or propulsion mechanisms. The mention of Elijah ascending in a whirlwind bears striking similarities to modern accounts of vertical takeoff systems. Could this be an ancient witness trying to describe something far beyond their technological framework? Here's an archaeological puzzle that has fascinated researchers for decades. Ancient texts describe the sudden destruction of two cities by fire and sulfur from heaven. The devastation was so complete and instantaneous that it's been compared to massive explosions. Recent archaeological expeditions in the Jordan Valley have uncovered evidence of a sudden catastrophic event that destroyed multiple settlements around 3,600 years ago. The question that continues to intrigue scientists is, what kind of fire from heaven could cause such widespread instantaneous destruction? But it's not just biblical texts that contain these mysterious accounts. Let's travel to ancient India, where Sanskrit texts describe incredible flying vehicles called Vimanas. The Mahabharata, one of the world's oldest epic poems, describes these craft in remarkable detail. Listen to this incredible description. King Salva pilots a Vimana called Salba, which could disappear and reappear in different locations. The text describes abilities of invisibility and sudden movement that bear striking similarities to modern unidentified aerial phenomena reports. Here's what will absolutely amaze you. These ancient Indian texts contain technical descriptions of propulsion systems, navigation methods, and even what appears to be stealth technology, all written thousands of years before such concepts existed in human knowledge. Egyptian solar discs and Greek chariots. In ancient Egypt, the symbol of Ra, the sun god, is often depicted as a winged disc flying across the sky. Similarly, Greek mythology describes gods traveling in flying chariots. Were these purely symbolic representations, or were ancient civilizations trying to record actual observations using the religious and technological vocabulary available to them? Recent analysis of ancient Egyptian texts has revealed surprisingly technical descriptions of celestial phenomena that don't match any known astronomical events. Could these be attempts to record encounters with unknown aerial objects? Now let's examine one of the most well-documented historical accounts of aerial phenomena. On April 14, 1561, the residents of Nuremberg, Germany, witnessed what can only be described as an aerial battle in the morning sky. Contemporary accounts describe spheres, cylinders, crosses, and disc-shaped objects moving erratically and colliding in what appeared to be an organized conflict. These objects displayed bright colors, red, black, blue, and white, while some emitted smoke as they moved across the sky. What makes this account particularly fascinating is that it occurred during the 16th century, when European thought was heavily influenced by religious interpretation. Yet the witnesses described these objects in surprisingly technical terms, focusing on their shapes, movements, and physical characteristics. Here's the archaeological question that continues to puzzle researchers. How do we explain detailed, consistent accounts of structured aerial objects from an era when human flight was impossible? Renaissance revelations. Fellow art detectives, prepare to be amazed. Renaissance paintings contain some of the most intriguing visual evidence of unexplained aerial phenomena. Let's examine three masterpieces that have puzzled art historians for centuries. The Annunciation with Saint Emitius by Carlo Crivelli, painted in 1486, shows a golden beam of light emanating from a disc-shaped object in the sky, directed toward Mary. While traditional interpretation sees this as divine symbolism, the technical precision of the disc's depiction suggests the artist may have been recording an actual observation. The Baptism of Christ by Art de Gelder, created around 1710, depicts unusual rays of light that some researchers suggest resemble modern descriptions of aerial phenomena encounters. The Madonna with St. Giovannino, attributed to the school of Filippo Lippi, features a dark disc surrounded by light in the sky above Mary's shoulder, with a figure below gazing upward and shielding his eyes, almost as if observing an actual object. What's particularly intriguing is that these artists lived centuries apart, but depicted similar aerial phenomena with remarkable consistency. Now, fellow time travelers, we come to the central mystery that has captivated researchers across multiple disciplines. If ancient peoples witnessed unexplained aerial phenomena, how would they have interpreted and recorded these encounters within their cultural and technological frameworks? Consider this fascinating possibility. Ancient scribes and artists may have been accurate witnesses, but they were forced to describe advanced phenomena using the limited vocabulary and concepts available in their time. A technological object might become a chariot of fire, advanced propulsion systems might be described as whirlwinds, and structured craft might be interpreted as divine manifestations. The Pattern Recognition Challenge. Here's what modern researchers find most intriguing. When we analyze these accounts across different cultures, time periods, and geographical locations, striking patterns emerge. Consistent physical descriptions, disc shapes, cylindrical objects, and bright lights appear repeatedly. Similar behavioral patterns, intelligent movement, sudden appearances and disappearances, formation flying, technological impossibility, descriptions of capabilities that exceeded any known ancient technology, and cross-cultural consistency, similar accounts from civilizations with no contact with each other. The scientific approach. Today's archaeologists and historians, they're really digging into these ancient accounts with a rigorous scientific methodology. Instead of just brushing off old texts as pure mythology, researchers are starting to ask some fresh questions, like, what if ancient peoples were actually pretty sharp observers, but just didn't have the right words to describe advanced phenomena? And how might we reinterpret religious and mythological texts as, potential historical documents? Plus, what can modern technology reveal about those ancient claims of aerial phenomena? Recent archaeological discoveries have shown us that ancient civilizations had way more advanced knowledge than we ever thought before. From the Antikythera mechanisms' super sophisticated astronomical calculations, to the mind-blowing precision engineering of megalithic structures, we're constantly revising our understanding of just what our ancestors were capable of. The documentation hypothesis. Some researchers are putting forward this really interesting idea that a lot of ancient religious texts might actually be, sophisticated documentation systems, basically attempts to preserve important information about encounters with advanced phenomena using the storytelling and record-keeping tools they had back then. This hypothesis suggests that what we see as mythology could actually be encoded historical information, preserved through religious narratives so it could be passed down through generations. Here's what makes this investigation so compelling, fellow mystery hunters. The more we study these ancient accounts with modern analytical tools, the more we start to see these consistent patterns. And get this, advanced radar systems, satellite surveillance, and military documentation have actually confirmed that unexplained aerial phenomena are still being observed today. So the big question researchers keep coming back to is, do the objects described in ancient texts have any relationship to the stuff we're documenting with modern technology? Could our ancestors have been seeing the same types of unexplained aerial activities that, say, military pilots and regular folks report today? What's especially fascinating is how these ancient accounts seem to influence the development of human civilization itself. Many of the world's major religions, architectural marvels, and even technological leaps came from cultures that recorded encounters with mysterious aerial phenomena. So, could there be a connection between these ancient sky observations and those sudden bursts of human knowledge and capability that archaeologists keep discovering in the historical record? Recent discoveries. Modern archaeological expeditions are honestly still turning up evidence that supports the technical accuracy of ancient accounts. Ground-penetrating radar, for example, has uncovered massive underground structures beneath religious sites, sophisticated water management systems in desert civilizations, and precision-engineered monuments that must have required some serious planning and technology. Every new discovery just raises more questions about what ancient civilizations were really capable of and how accurate their historical records might have been. Take the recent excavations in the Jordan Valley, which is thought to be the site of Sodom and Gomorrah. There, researchers have found evidence of a massive, sudden destruction event that lines up with ancient descriptions. Mineral analysis has shown signs of extreme heat and some pretty unusual chemical compounds, all suggesting that a truly extraordinary catastrophic event happened in that region around 3,600 years ago. Fellow time detectives, as we wrap up today's archaeological journey, we're honestly left with more questions than answers. And that's exactly what makes this investigation so compelling. The evidence we've looked at today, from ancient religious texts to Renaissance art, from archaeological discoveries to modern scientific analysis, really suggests that our ancestors may have been more accurate observers than we've given them credit for. Whether these ancient accounts are describing natural phenomena, advanced ancient technologies, or, well, something else entirely, one thing's for sure. The careful documentation of aerial phenomena by ancient civilizations gives us a fascinating window into how they interpreted and recorded extraordinary events. So, what do you think, fellow explorers? Were ancient peoples trying to document real encounters with unexplained aerial phenomena, or are these accounts purely symbolic and religious in nature? Share your theories in the comments.